We used the Innovation District's framework to sort of revalue the infrastructure. And what you're looking at is, this is a 6.5 acre public plaza, rooftop plaza on a 2,700 space parking deck, and connected to 2 office towers, open office towers. And the viewpoint is from our regional Amtrak transportation station. So the effort was to demolish this middle structure known as the Phoenix Center, and to allow 25,000 cars to stream through our tiny little walkable downtown. So we joined in the effort to save it and develop it, and this is a video of what that looked like.
Councilman Cameron Williams, he's always there for everything.
100. Aye, aye, sir.
What's going on? Turn the camera around. We down here at Park Day. My head is shining in the sun. Come on out, Pontiac. They got the good music. DJ Mother Love is playing, and they're revisioning what we can do with the parking spaces downtown. There's a reason that people from the east side, north side, the south side, the west side don't come downtown. And so here's an opportunity to say, this is what we would like to see in our downtown. We got OU, we got Lawrence Peck doing art over here. We got OU doing stock design.
Hi, how you doing?
All right, how are you?
With local business owner, Mary G. How you doing, Mary G?
Hello.
Tell everybody about Parking Day and what you're doing
Parking Day is awesome. We are here. We're taking over the streets. This takeover, downtown Pontiac takeover.
I didn't even know you could have been too much more than
We got the owner of the Fillmore 13. He's out here at Parking Day. What's going on, sir?
Good morning.
Good, we're live. Say hi to Pontiac.
Hello, Pontiac.
Now, this is great. So have you heard about Parking Day before today?
I have not, but I've been getting emails and I've been learning more about it.
Okay, well, let me tell you what Parking Day is. Parking Day is where we take these parking spaces, right? And we turn them into community spaces. So we've got local business owners, local nonprofits. Come on, we got Harold's Italian Nights. Come on and get in the camera. I'm the official taste tester for Harold's Italian Nights. So what you need to do...
Okay.
Yeah, but he not only does he need to taste it, he needs to carry some cartons inside the field. See, we're making that happen. See, we can get the local businesses right here at Parking Day. We'll keep on moving.
That is the Ulsa.
Listen,
Our
we're live.
friends at Ulsa.
We're live, right? And I'm jaywalking right now.
Yes.
But please,
That's how it
so
should be.
And most importantly, in our soul, we get to give the crowded streets back to the people who live and work here. What Rouge was to Ford in the industrial age, Corktown will be for Ford in the information age. A revolution in the artificial intelligence and big data that's going to be even more disruptive than that industrial age was. The station has good bones. It's in the kind of neighborhood that we know attracts and retains highly skilled and innovative dreamers, makers, creators, entrepreneurs. You know, I've always believed in the importance of a concept called design thinking. It's about open collaboration. And what you see with a property like this, you can create random, serendipitous interactions.
It's my understanding that there were playground instruments already, and so we already were using the buffer for that park. So it won't change anything with regard to the buffers that were already established.
The Hidden River Park never had playground equipment. It had a fountain. Never had any playground equipment since I've been alive.
Hidden River Park has now become Kaboom.
The station has good bones. It's in the kind of neighborhood that we know attracts and retains highly skilled and innovative dreamers, makers, creators, entrepreneurs. You know, I've always believed in the importance of a concept called design thinking. It's about open collaboration. And what you see with a property like this, you can create random, serendipitous interactions.
The businesses on Saginaw Street that try to have people park there during their parking day. And if someone wants to play chess, go to our beautiful Hidden River Park. Thank you.
Let me get mine. I'm gonna do my water fountain first. Okay, good. I said this park needs a water fountain so that people can make it with small kids if they are not feeling good.
Ethan, tell us what we did over the summer and what your thoughts are.
So what we did was we wrote notes that what we wanted to do to help the city and what we wanted to add into it. And we put it on these boards, and then one of them said future, past, and present. So, and we came up with ideas to make everything useful, not just say I don't want it and just throw it away. We made something new in life, and we helped it.
So it would be interesting to have something that was water related. If it was a fountain, I mean, there could be some kind of connection to the bigger issue of water availability and portability. And there's so much technology, so you could take your fountain could be connected, right, as part of a system that is also clean, fresh drinking water. That is also, I mean, you can really make cool stuff out of that. Make it part of a.
Yes, we have one at the
across the street that they put a tree in.
That's yeah, awful. It's like that managed decline mentality that
yeah. You start with the answer is no and go from there, right? Yeah.
And so I think in the next, the coming years, I think the transportation landscape could be totally shaken up. It'll be really interesting to see what happens.
It's funny, Lindsay, I was just like last week in a conversation about the Phoenix Center, and I said, why don't we just close Saginaw Street completely, turn the whole thing into a walking street, and the whole, and then the Phoenix Center can actually shine, right? It'd be the thing that it could be. Yeah, wouldn't that be beautiful?
Absolutely,
that'd be great.
Yeah, it's so much smarter than trying to fix, they're talking about fixing the drive-through underneath and all that. It's like, no. Make one big loop on the outside. And the question of what to do with the parking lot is let people park their cars there so they can get out and walk.
And just a little bit about what we're doing in Head Start and early Head Start right now during this time of COVID closures. Now the majority of where our classrooms are, those buildings are all in virtual mode.
I may have asked you this question before, Jim, but what's the implications given that we are on lockdown? I mean, implications to all sorts of ideas to work or save the Phoenix Center.
Our community is not in our city, and if you visit our city, you'll recognize that our community needs to be in its city, and the community is really emotionally tied to almost nothing here, with one exception, and that just happens to be the Phoenix Center. So we see the Phoenix Center as that catalyst that draws community back into its city.
And what they're going to learn from this point right now is how the political process works. They can look at issues that we have right here in Pontiac, like why don't we have a park downtown? Why can't we have a education center where children can go to? One of the things that was brought to my attention 6 years ago, maybe more, was using the Phoenix Center as an education center. How great would that be to have it right there?
Which I think Bree had been touching on as well, is there is currently and also historically a lot of inequity, legally speaking, and socially, and all of that around kids, and especially kids of color, in recreational and public spaces.
These kids growing up in Raleigh, they grew up asking, where can we go? So here's a map of Raleigh. This is the creek. This is the elementary school that they went to. But like, if you look at all of this, it's like it's all private, like no access. They were like refugees in their own town, no wheeled vehicles. They're being chased off everywhere.
Other communities do, where you take away some parking spots.
We're not breaking any new ground.
No,
we are breaking new ground in Pontiac.
Well, it sort of expands the pedestrian footprint.
Really great to be here. I really admire and appreciate a lot of the innovative work that Jim and Monica are doing. And this is an exciting event. It's really important that we continue to make downtown areas more pedestrian friendly.
To support walkable communities, to support our downtown businesses, and appreciate all of you being a part of this virtually today, and really appreciate again the great work that Jim and Monica have been doing to pull this event together year after year.
Thank you. And so today I'm going to talk a little bit about design thinking and how it can be used to address transportation challenges.
And specifically, I'm looking at the potential that design thinking holds as a public engagement tool. And so that's why I'm here in Contact Day to study what the incubator has done in Pontiac.
Adopting the bus stop with SMART for several months, but it required something much deeper than just a cleaning responsibility. We have to actually solve the problem from a design point of view. When we spoke on Monday, there was a suggestion that there was a possibility of finding some funds within the ARPA proposition that will address that in the depth that is necessary to solve the problem, rather than just a volunteer effort.
I'm ready to be a part of whatever it is. He's got 3 more months with me. No, 3 more months.
What's our message?
So our message is to find out we want to bring a better solution for this transportation problem. Downtown Pontiac. We want to take the resources that we have and build something that people will be confident in and actually will help part of the solve the problem as we pull in the rest of the right, to build the new and I think the state government, right, is a part of it.
And then you're not clean, they're not cleaning it up.
They're
going to training. Riding the bus and just all this junkie and everything. They're going to like, all classes out here. Some of us working everything.
But to start with, I think it's important to remind ourselves that over 100 years ago, streets served a variety of functions and activities and were known and supported as a place for vibrant public life, for commerce, for play. I think it's also really important to understand and to know that there was a long history of popular resistance to automobile dominance. It's not that people didn't recognize that automobiles are this incredible technology, but they recognized that maybe they shouldn't be invited to speed, through inner city spaces in particular. And that it was only through a very focused and concerted effort by the automobile industry, who were focused on selling more cars, not necessarily concerned about moving people or solving urban mobility problems. They wanted to sell cars. And in order to do that, they really focused on this social reconstruction of the street.
Hello from Parking Day Pontiac, Parking Day Detroit to Pontiac 2022. We are on Michigan Avenue at Metropolis Cycles, Bike Shop and Repair. We are taking insight from the street. See here, this is the Michigan Central Station, which is under renovation. A $1 billion bet by Ford. Detroit is helping in creating this innovation district and doing Roosevelt Park.
He said before to that, because unless we're walking up and down these sidewalks, right, and you can have all the cabinoo you want out here. You can have mass transit come roaring through you. It won't mean anything to the city.
In Brightmoor. But our focus has been really in Brightmoor Makerspace activity, and that's to bring the hands-on and the artistic activities alive, again, through the school system and out into the community as well.
So we give the floor now to State Representative Brenda Carter to offer her reflections as we await the signing of the state budget, which she and her legislative colleagues have adopted with historic funding for the city of Pontiac.
Good evening, City Council President Pro Tem, City Council, to our Deputy Mayor, to everyone here in the audience. I appreciate this opportunity to reflect on what happened in Lansing.
Yeah, I mean, when I talked about the stars aligning, that is another star that's aligning. We are finally going to fix the mistake of having people drive around downtown Pontiac instead of through it. I'm going to look at either the mayor or the deputy mayor to talk, because you've been in more contact with MDOT than I, so if you want to just address that.
Yeah, it's a really important point that you're raising, and while they're two distinct projects, they certainly go hand in hand.
It will also serve as a catalyst to attract additional private investment and private business development in our downtown. But it will also finally demolish this horrible, dilapidated eyesore of a derelict parking structure and reconnect Saginaw Street, our city's main street.
Good morning, everyone. Today, Governor Gretchen Whitmer and Detroit Mayor Mike Duggan were at the auto show and held a joint press conference with U.S. Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg. The three of them announcing funding through the infrastructure law that is going to allow the state to replace the outdated I-375 freeway. The freeway, as you can see here, is going to be converted into a boulevard so that local neighborhoods can have an increase in economic development and be more connected.
To be able to hear additional stories Black Bottom and Paradise Valley, what it was like 50, 60 years ago.
Well, this is the best part. So you can see the progression of our building. So you may hear people refer to us as the book depository, because historically it was the book depository for Detroit public school system. So you see how we found it.
Yeah.
It just depends, because some of the companies.
I want to know what like the biggest company is in here.
This is our main event space here.
I have two questions, very short. The first one is, can you tell us a little bit about what metrics you're going to use to determine success, so we know what to cheer in maybe 3 to 5 years?
So the metrics question is a good one, and I'm not sure we're 100% there yet in knowing all of the metrics for us. You know, there's different metrics. There's one way for us to look at it is how many companies, how many entrepreneurs, on the skills work, how many jobs. So there's all of that. I think there's other interesting metrics that we need to form where we can start thinking about, is there any implication towards reversing population decline? Are we keeping more young people in Detroit? And those are the harder data points to figure out how to do.
You know, Parking Day continues to grow all around the world. You know, in Japan, there is not a whole lot of street parking, actually. They manage their streets way differently than we do. There actually isn't a lot of street parking allowed. And so why is Parking Day big in Japan? Well, I think it's because there's this need for these third spaces, these kind of informal social space that aren't commercial outdoor dining, that aren't a place you have to pay to sit, that aren't even like a sort of more formal public park. So informal, non-commercial third spaces is the need that Parking Day fulfills in communities in Japan.
And I was just saying that I like the idea of it because like here in Detroit, I'm not gonna lie, the public transportation is not good at all. And like, and I look at places like, I know I stayed in New York for a minute in Brooklyn with my uncle, and I used to take the train all the time, and I just found it so useful. And I was talking to Monica about the perspective thing on like how, you know, like it's the motor city, so of course they expect, oh, it's gonna be cars and parking spaces, but it's like when you look at it as a perspective of innovation in the future, is not really like the right direction.
Walkable, you know, like Brooklyn, walkable places, but like you described, it's because they've done that strategic investment. You know, they've made that big investment in the train network, in expanding the subways, and you know, Detroit Motor City can do that too. And I think they're on the path to do that. There's nothing stopping our automobile industry, you know, from building mass transit vehicles. And I know some of them are exploring this. But we can push, we can advocate for, great, sell the cars, but also please start to invest in designing advanced tools for mass mobility. Better trains, better buses, faster light rail.
So you were saying about Barcelona and how you lived there for how long again?
For a year, and
just in that time, so much of the city was like greened out, and they put a lot more pedestrian walkways in from streets that used to be, of course, cars. They cut the edge. It's really smart. They're called chuck runs, and it just helps with the flow of traffic so that cars can pull off into that side. So, you know, that whole little corner is utilized for cars to park, so the traffic can move better. And that was designed in like the 1800s.
They were a little ahead of their time.
So my name is Juwan Howard, 25 years old, born and raised right here in the great city of Detroit. I'm the founder and creator of a space called Umoja Village, which is 3 lots we purchased from the land bank, which features now a community garden, a community tool shed where people can rent rake, shovels, lawnmowers, stuff for free, like free of charge. It features a 24-foot stage, benches.
It seems to me that more and more, as we get more stresses on our communities, in our cities, we can't hope that some municipal or government act is going to come, and it's really coming from the ground up. So I really admire your project, really building that community strength, community resiliency.
And any thoughts about like the Central Station and what's going on Michigan Avenue, the redesign? Have you heard anything? Like, have they asked you for your insight on biking, on infrastructure?
No one ever asks me what I think about bicycle infrastructure. I think, these bike lanes on Michigan Avenue, I think they're terrifying. I think this so-called protected bike lane is scary. It's like an intrastate highway, and at least cars could see you before, and now they can't see you because you're behind a wall of cars.
We gotta have coffee at 6 in the morning. I'm gonna walk down to Port Town. What is his name? I love him.
Jim Ross.
We gotta have coffee. And I'm gonna leave my car. And we're gonna have some.
I'm gonna get.
Guys, just cut off the center.
Right.
Have those people find parks, and you won't have any problem, and make it a walking downtown.
Right.
City council, mayor, city of Detroit. I'm gonna take my glasses off because I want you to know who I am. I live downtown. Sheila Palmer. I run a little studio, Katarche Textile Design. So I've been down there 5 years. City planning needs to be more innovative. You have problems with the theft, you have problems with people getting hit, you have problems with the police overworking themselves, all these motorcycles, cars, back to back, all in the center downtown. You started to think smartly when you cut off Woodward and Jefferson. That was a smart move. Who stopped being smart? Because all you have to do is cut off Michigan Avenue in Washington, Grand River, and Cass. Only people allowed to come through is the buses. People then have to go and park in your parking structures that you're building, make them park and pay money so that everyone in the center can walk and be comfortable and not get ran over by somebody in a car zooming.
Soon after that, neighborhood chunk came down in the 30s. Michigan Avenue got widened, mid-30s to 40s. About 80% of the commercial district was wiped out, except for Skid Row, which was on the other side of the 50s efforts to gut that park with the Lodge Freeway, and was when 75 cut through to go north and south. The elements of 20th century nearly wiped us out, but also we had historic designation.